There it is. All right. Hi, guys. Welcome. Per usual, starting off on the awkward did it start? Did it not start? We're just talking about how fabulous this Friday is. I know we got a bunch of rain, but hopefully we'll have some time for you to get outside. It's warming up, which is super exciting. I'm so excited for summer. I'm wearing shorts right now, but you can't tell because, Zoom. Whoa. Very excited about shorts. Also, plug for, what was the game called, Sean? That we were just talking about? Unicorns.
Oh, Unstable Unicorns?
Unstable Unicorns. That's embarrassing. I was just talking about it. If you guys haven't played Unstable Unicorns, we were just informing Luke of the greatness that it is. I bought mine at Target for $20. So if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend with your fam, build a unicorn army and demolish each other. Sean, what's your favorite card from the game? Do you have a favorite?
The Maricorn. How about that?
The Maricorn? What does that one do?
Yeah. I have no idea.
I like the Llamacorn because it's a llama and a unicorn all in one, and it has like a corn on the cob for the horn. So very creative. Just something to do this weekend. We enjoy it over here at my house. Sean's enjoying it at his house. Luke's actually ordering it on Target right now. So,
really?
Yeah. But hey guys, you know what you're here for. Student Stories is our final episode of this series. We ended with the best for last. So you know what you're here for. I'm going to get out of the way and hand it over to our wonderful guests today. Take it away, gentlemen.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Sean. I'm a leader at in the Life Youth program. I've been doing it for about 4 years, and I've had Luke as my student this whole entire time. It's been a great pleasure. So, Luke, why don't you tell them about yourself?
All right. So I'm Luke. I am a senior this year. I guess I won't be for long. I mean, it's only like 2 weeks left or whatever. But I go to Canton High School, and I don't know. In my free time, I like to program and do graphic design, and that's basically my life right now. So, yeah.
But you have a business that maybe you can plug too, though.
Sure, yeah. So I run this thing called Liquid. So Liquid is a design platform that allows me to work with people and build their brands using design and stuff like that. And like basically it's for anything. Like I work with a lot of like creators, so people on YouTube and other platforms, and it's been honestly just really great. So if you ever need a logo or something of that nature, let me know.
Awesome. All right, so let's just get right down to why we're here. These segments have been interviews of students, so and how they came to meet Jesus and how that's impacted their life. So, Luke, when did you meet Jesus?
Yeah, so I was trying to like think about this question beforehand because I don't know, like, so I've grown up like in a Christian household, so both of my parents, they know God, and that's been like something I honestly am just really grateful to have. Like it's been incredible. And so like from a really early age, like I knew about God and Jesus and everything, but like oftentimes like when I was really young, like I didn't really understand why I was doing it. It was sort of just kind of a thing that like, I was going to church, I was praying some recited thing that I could, remember and say back and forth and whatnot. But it was all just like sort of these traditions, these habits, and they weren't really entering deep into like why I actually do them and stuff like that. So, like, I guess it was really like in middle school where I started like kind of feeling more challenged to ask myself, why am I actually here? Like, what am I doing? Why am I going to church? What's the whole purpose of this? And so, like, I remember like my pastor, at the time, like he was talking about making your faith your own, right? So like taking charge of like understanding that like this is like nobody else is gonna do the work for me. No one else is going to like intentionally go out of their way to meet God for me. It's something I have to do. So yeah, and from then, like I guess it's just kind of been a progressive thing that's moved forward in my life, and I've seen the progress that God has made in me.
Okay, good. There's a lot of middle school is a formative time, and there's a lot of adults that haven't asked that question. So consider yourself ahead of the curve. Um, I know. Growing up, I was Catholic, and I went through a lot of those patterns without actually taking it to heart. Saying things in rote, and yeah, it is it's kind of superficial at times, and then it's like you really want to delve deeper into how it's impacting you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so describe what Luke BC was. What was your life before Christ?
Yeah, yeah. So I was also trying to think about this beforehand, but yeah. So like I mean, I've grown up knowing who God is, but like my like formative memories, like the things that I remember most, especially like elementary school Luke, right? Like he was a very weird person, but all like so I don't know, like I kind of wish I could remember more, but like every single memory that I have from elementary school, I just remember being like the worst person I've ever met. Like I don't know why that is. Yeah, like I don't like that. Those are like the base memories that I have like from my childhood. Is like I just remember all these times that I've just been like not nice to people and just not like things that now I like look back and I'm like wow, I can't believe like that was a thing. But it's like I was doing life on my own then, and I think it says a lot.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the pitfalls that people get into with that question is, they think they have to have some sort of not glamorous, but just exciting, I guess, past. Like, I was into drugs and alcohol and illicit activities and crime, whatever. And it's like, well, we're all born into sin and we're all born apart from God. So regardless of whether it was an external sort of rebellion or if it was more internal in our distance from Him, the end result is the same. So the fact that we all need to recognize our need for Him and to turn back toward Him is what's key. So awesome. Tell me more about. You said it wasn't an exact moment, but maybe over time. When did you come to the realization that you should just finally once and for all surrender your life to Christ?
Yeah. So I guess like I don't know. I'm a person that like really likes to like if I like want to believe in something completely, like if I want to be convinced of something, I'm a person that likes factual evidence. Like that's something that like it's part of who I am. Yeah. Yeah. Like I like to have like solid concrete reasons for why I do what I do. And so I guess like in that early stage of kind of like my transformation, like in middle school, like I guess I started to put the Bible to the test, right? I started to look at the world through the lens of the Bible, and that helped me realize a lot about like just the state of humanity and stuff like that. And like honestly, that's been one of the biggest like formative things I think for my faith is the fact that like I see like especially in the Old Testament, right? Like there's so many times where like Israel's doing something crazy or the neighboring countries are doing something crazy, and they like and like I realized that today we're still doing the same exact things, and it's insane. And like that's like a lot of the part of what like the Bible is talking about is the fact that like this world, the world that we live in, it's so concrete in its ways, despite all the technological advances and stuff like that. And so, I guess like putting my faith in God has given me such a joy that has come out of that endless loop of just striving to do something, different, right? So, yeah, I guess like that's been like one of the things that's really helped me to realize like, yeah, this is where I need to be, and Jesus is the only one that's going to take me there. Jesus is the reason that I'm able to get out of the cycle of humanity that continues towards corruption, and so that's like been a big part of it.
Awesome. Yeah, humans are base creatures, and we all have those fundamental needs, and we tend to pursue those needs through the flesh. So apart from Him, and that's a rabbit hole that only leads to death and pain and all that sort of stuff. So it's awesome that when someone can come to realize that there's something more, there's more than that out there, and to try to fill a God-sized hole with temporal finite things is just a futile enterprise. It's just so cool. So what does all of this mean to you? How has it impacted your life?
I mean, I would say that it's completely changed my outlook on everything. Like just really, I don't know, like I feel more committed than ever to just what God is doing. Like I want to just take anything that I'm doing and move it to what God is doing, because I'm not a I don't have a lot of good thoughts. And so, it's God that's like doing this work in my life. And I guess like that's something that like it's taken me a long time to like get through. And I'm be the first to say that I'm sure there's something that I haven't surrendered to God, and there's something I need to turn to Him. But every day, if I can get one step closer to that, if I can just move a little bit closer to Him, like it's the greatest joy. Honestly, it's the greatest journey I can take. So it's something that I've really been trying more and more, and it's something that I just want to continue to do forever, hopefully.
Awesome. I like that answer. I was just telling my daughter last night that we're not stagnant. We're always moving. It's always fluid. So either you're moving toward Him or you're moving away from Him every day, every moment, with every decision. And it's that binary sort of thing. You either are or you aren't. So to have that knowledge and to make that cognitive decision, like I want to move toward God in this, just to keep that in the back of our minds will help us be more successful in living a righteous life for Him.
Yeah.
So what is Jesus, what is God teaching you in this moment, in this quarantine and social isolation? Are you in the Word? Are you studying anything currently?
Yeah. So I'm actually currently in a play on Acts, which has been really great. It's one of my favorite books, just because I think it's really like, as far as biblical books, it's probably one of the easiest to understand. It's written in really base English, so like I feel like a lot of people can get. And like I feel like it could have been written 5 years ago, right? Like it's that good and stuff like that. But I guess like what God is teaching me through that plan and stuff is just the fact that like He's just always working, like I mean the people like all the early disciples and stuff, like I mean they were in jail all the time. They were they were enemies of the state, right? They're doing all these things to try to get people to know God, but at the end of the day things didn't always work out, especially like right now. That's really important, is the fact that, COVID-19, things aren't really working out that great. I can't lie, but it's in the fact that like I know that God is moving and God is always working, that it helps me really just to know Him more, and to understand that is key, I think. So, yeah.
Awesome. I I like that. God is always working. God's always moving. Um, in our Christianese, we like to say that God can use this for His good, or turn this bad thing into something good for His purpose. But I've been reading. I read a couple things. I read a couple plans on the Bible app for COVID-19 or coronavirus. But I'm also going through a plan with Nina through Revelation, and that's a haughty subject, and people kind of veer away from it because the end of the world, right? And death and destruction. But even in that book, it's about salvation, right? And God was the one who delivered the plagues. God is the one who brought on sickness and death amongst non-believers. And it's like, it's those actions, although we can't understand it down here on the human plane, He's incapable of doing any sin, any bad. So he means everything for our good. Yeah. So coronavirus, that's a challenge right now. He's using this virus for our good. So we have to take this time to reflect and be introspective and be like, okay, what is he trying to teach me through this? What can I learn about myself or about my community? Maybe I take church for granted, and I, in this time of being apart, and I realize I miss everyone, and I want to be near everyone and hug everyone, and when that time comes, because it will come, that we all get to come back together and be with each other, we'll just appreciate each other just that much more, right? Or that love will be there, and it will be refurbished and more vibrant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So what hope do you have for the future in Christ? What would you like to see Him do or Him work in you?
Yeah. I just honestly, I just hope that He can use me for however long I'm on this life to help people open their eyes to what God is doing. I know that this world is extremely tempting because it's really easy to just not. it's really easy sometimes to just not go with God, right? It's really easy to just live your life by yourself, do everything on your own. But I hope that people can realize, like we were talking about earlier, there's so much more to this life than everything that's out there. So yeah, and I hope that God can use me to show people that throughout everything that I do.
Cool. So how would you encourage others to share their story, what God has been doing in their life?
Yeah. I would say I would say being able to talk about your salvation is possibly one of the most important things you can do, period. It's taken me a while to have the confidence. I've talked about it a lot more recently, but it's taken me a while to really get that. But I say just don't take a while. Just go for it, because you never know who needs to hear that. In the church, right? I mean, you never know who needs to hear that encouragement. But then outside of the church as well, to people who don't know who God is, if they trust you, then your salvation story is the most important part of them taking you seriously, and in turn taking faith in general seriously. So I would say just go for it.
Right, and be yourself. A lot of people think they have to have all the knowledge, or they have to be really eloquent in speaking about it. But just being yourself, it can be very powerful too. and just making it more real for that person. So that in itself can bring someone closer to know, hey, I'm flawed too. I'm a nervous wreck, or I have a mouthful of rocks. But I can get this, and I can live a life for Christ just like this guy can. So
yeah.
Cool. Look, I really appreciate your time. And I miss you, bud. I totally do.
Miss you too. Yeah.
I really appreciate how you have a spirit of inquiry about you, and I hope you never lose that. And you're very introspective. That's a very mature trait, and I appreciate that you can look inside yourself and see where you can improve.
Thanks.
No problem.
Guys, I am just blown away at how you have committed to a relationship and the kinds of conversation you can have because of the time that you put in to grow in your faith together. Just the way that you hear different conversations that you're able to have like spiritually mature because of the time that you've done committing to each other and with life. So I'm impressed. I love hearing and celebrating Luke as a senior this year, and I see how proud of you Sean is. So I'm so excited to be able to end on this note for our student stories, and can't wait to continue to see how God uses you and your inquiries to continue to help other people be more curious, because I think people believe that they know what God is about and what church is about and what faith means. And what I keep learning from the perspective you bring is there's always more questions to ask, and that's fun. I think that makes life exciting for people. That makes faith more exciting because it's true. So thanks so much for being willing to share today. And I just want to remind everybody that's tuning in with us, is going to tune in later, that we want to answer those questions that Luke has been asking himself and bringing to Sean as small group leader over the last couple of years, because it's normal to have questions about who God is, or why bad things happen, or what does God look like is another question that we've got. I mean, the cool thing is that they're anonymous. So I wouldn't even know that Luke was asking the question, but he would be able to get an answer, and he would be able to share that with someone else. So if you look in the description of the video, there will be a link to a Google form. No question, big or small. If you have 3 questions, put them in there. But we want to hear from you, because we're here to serve you, and we're here for you. I can think of 100 million different things to talk about here on YouTube and in videos and Instagram. But if they're not serving you and your needs and answering your questions, then I'm just a resounding gong. But I want to do everything in love. So if you know, you know. That's all I got for you guys for this episode. We'll see you on Monday for our first question with a hat episode. So have a great rest of your day, you guys. Bye. Don't worry, they have to ask me a second question, so it didn't actually end yet.